Chapter 1: A Rainy Day. Once upon a time, there was a stump named Oki, and a sprite inside named Tenko aka TenkoBerry. Once rainy day in spring, this stump nestled deep in the woods, was in their warm nice overgrown cottage, when came a knocking at the door. It was Nutty the acorn, and they were carrying what seems to be a root of sorts. Nutty explains that they found it and thought, as it's a rainy day, that we might make a nice soup or a stew with it. All right, that seems like a lovely idea, Oki replied. So they chopped up the freshiest veggies, chop chop. Chop chop noises. Once they'd all been chopped up and the water of the pot had simmered, they added all these lovely veggies, and even a nice bit of meat that was snatched up during a fish auction by the old wise turtle. Jammy Jam's a great fellow, who'd know to be one of the oldest elders of the forest, and would be nice as they provided the meat to give a nice meal back to them. So once everything had been added to the pot, it started bubbling a weird and ominous green color like no other green. And as it showed this green color, the root shot up out of the pot. Luckily no one was very near to it with all that hot water, but the root floats in mid-air as it pulses the weird green color. As rooting starts to appear on it, Oki yells, "Where did you get that, Nutty?" Nutty responds, "I found it on the ground. I just thought it was a food root that is common around here," and then all of the sudden it stops and falls on the already set table with a loud thunderous crash of plates and other essentials being smashed or damaged during its descent onto the table. Chapter 2: The Green Text. So after the root had cooled down and destroyed most of all our tableware and almost the table itself, we decided to wrap in a blanket and transport it to the only person we knew who'd have some idea on it and what it was, as it seems to be imbued with the power of magic, but more of a nature magic like no other that has been seen in this forest, even dwarfing our woodland dwarf Dwig Lind, the healer of the village. So we decided that we'll bring it to Dwig and get the elder Jammy Jams the turtle. Dwig had kept it in the back away from others until Jammy Jams gets here to see what all the fuss is about. So when they do arrive, Dwig takes them to the back with Oki and Nutty, and after just a second Jammy Jams is already picked it up as they can feel the power that is inside said root. The text has faded, but they slow boil to not heat it up too much that it will break apart. So after using some prongs they take out of the hot water, and there has light of day coming from above the trees is the ancient text known as Not Tagaminism, who very few can read, as the text is so old that it was not learned normally like other languages, but passed down through a spell known as No Namakanism, and the last person who knows that spell is Jammy Jams the turtle. So they task Oki and Nutty with going on an adventure beyond the forest to find the homeland of this root, as it says in the instructions map of sorts that this root is a sword key that was once wielded by the great mechanism Forest Queen Lantoria. So Jammy Jams uses the spell to teach Oki and Nutty the ability to read Not Tagaminism. And so our adventure's ready up, but with the unexpected tag along being Dwig, who thought that we'd need a healer for this adventure. So once we packed all the food and other provisions we need, we now head out to start the adventure that seems to have been brought to us by fate itself.